What's going on, everybody? We're here live. Test, test, 1, 2, test, test, 1, 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Gonna be getting started in just a minute. I got one cable that I need to connect because I don't have a signal to one of my monitors. So I need to make sure that I get that on. All right. Let me check my YouTube feed. See if I got sound there. And I don't hear me. And I am live. Test, test, 1, 2. You make sure I'm not muted on my speaker. Okay. Oh no, I gotta change my audio setting. Okay, test, there we go. All right, give me just a second. Let me hook this cable up so I can have my fourth monitor connected. Be right back. All right. I think I have all my screens. Get my video set up and you can go ahead and get started. One, man, this is really out of 1, 3, 4, 2. Right back. Okay, I'm back. Accidentally knocked the Ethernet cord out when I was working on getting the monitors. So I have my monitors and everything set up. So we're about ready to get started in just a minute. As I was saying, when I realized that I wasn't online, I wasn't connected. The computer, I just got back home. I just got home probably about around 9:15, 9:20, and the computer that I use here in Studio 2 was upstairs in the living room. If you haven't been watching the videos that I've been doing lately or what I got going on, I'm doing RC slot car live stream. I usually do it. I do it every year about around this time because this is when me and the kids we have a lot of time, and I take that time to where we all get together and we do the slot car races. Now I got four kits, four of the. If you're not familiar with it, look it up, Google it. Anki Overdrive. That's ANKI Overdrive. It's no longer owned by Anki. A company called Digital Dream Labs bought them out, I think, earlier this year or whatever. They went bankrupt. So Digital Dream Labs took over. They took over the Vector robots, the Vector, the robots, and something else. Whatever Anki had at that time, they took over and transitioned everything to Digital Dream Labs. Digital Dream Labs at the time were doing video games. So Digital Dream Labs now owns Overdrive, and they really haven't really released anything new, but they do have something that's coming up new to add to the current tracks and the current cars, which it's very exciting because if you've never seen it, you could only do maybe one race. If you do like a 15 lap or whatever, which is what I previously did, I think you could do up to 50. But usually the batteries don't usually last that long because you have to do a pace lap or two in order for the cars to learn the track. If you haven't changed the track and if the track stays the same, you don't have to do it. But now they've come up with Infinity Drive, which Infinity Drive it uses inductive charge. You put a inductive charging adapter under the track, and you put one on, I guess, each car. And what it does every time it passes that section of the track, it's supposed to somehow give a quick charge to it, to where you never have to worry about taking never have to worry about stopping a race. The race continuously go on. Your battery would never die, and you can run as many laps as you want to. So I found that exciting, and hopefully they will be finishing that. Let me turn this other light on because I think okay. All right. I think I may have too much light, so let me turn this light back off. So that's what I'm working on right now. So check here with my YouTube because I will be streaming it using Restream, which Restream streams to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So that's what I'm working on upstairs. I already have a track build already, and all I got to do now is get my cameras and stuff set up so I can do the stream. That's all I got left. The track, everything else is ready. I even have it so you can see everything. I don't have my phone. Well, yeah, I do have my phone. You can see the whole screen of the phone. I mean, like actually the whole phone on the screen. So you get to see exactly what's going on here. You get to hear what's going on. And then I have cameras set up in specific places on the track to where you can see what's going on the track. So, anyway, enough of that. Let's get into what I'm doing today. Once again, let me welcome you. Thank you for checking my channel out. My name is Kenyon Ellis, aka the Kid. You are now tuned in to Atlanta DJ Zone Tech Tuesday Live. It is a DJ tech tips and other ideas and discussions for DJs and by DJs. So you tuned in now. Of course, you're about to get a treat. This is something that I've been using and doing for probably the past 5 or so years. Ever since I owned a MacBook. So what it is a technique, and I've mentioned this before in a few of my other. I'm so excited I can't even sit down. I need to get my chair, but right now I'm gonna stand up. So right now, what you're about to see is how you can have your MacBook Pro, or not even, well, today is MacBook. I'm doing MacBooks only, to where you can have your MacBook to run just the way it did when it came out the box. Forever. Forever. It runs just like it did out the box. You have everything except for that new clean smell. That new clean smell is gone. But the operation of the laptop itself, if you follow my guidelines, if you follow my tips that I'm about to share with you today, it will run just as if it did when you got it out the box. The only difference is you may not be using the same operating system that you use out of the box. Like with this one, this is a 2009 MacBook Pro, dual core processor. I think it came with like 500 gig hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM, or whatever. I think this one, it either had I think it had Mountain Lion. It came with Mountain Lion. Right now, I have Yosemite on it. Now, this is this is my first MacBook right here. This is the one that I'm not going to be doing today thing on. Today, the what I'm going to be working on today is this one. This is the 2010 MacBook Pro. Um, Dual core processor. Let's see. I think it has 4 or 8 gigs, 8 gigs of RAM, 4 or 8 gigs of RAM. I'm not for sure. I got this one from another DJ locally, and shout out to that DJ. Thank you for it. He had issues with it. He couldn't get it to work. Um, I got it home. If you haven't seen my previous video about the EHDD, which is known as the emergency hard drive, which is this flash drive right here, then check out my last podcast video and you'll be able to see how I did that. And if I have time during this podcast, I'll mention a little bit about that. But otherwise, just go check it out. Go check it out. Because with this, you can run your whole laptop off the flash drive. Now, the reason that I created this was, in the event you're doing your DJing, your event, or even before you even start, you have everything set up. You turn your laptop on. Either it won't boot completely, or the hard drive is not responsive either. Either way it goes, you have a hard drive issue. Your hard drive is either corrupt or bad or stop working, or you have files that's corrupted to keep your hard drive from booting up. So what this does, this replaces your hard drive. And so far, the test that I've done with this, I have Yosemite installed on this flash drive. This is a 64. Nope, this is a 128. This is not the right flash drive. Well, no, this is the right flash drive. Um, I have Yosemite installed on this flash drive, and with this flash drive, I can plug it in, hold down the option key, select the partition that I have for this, and it will boot up to Yosemite. And then even that, I have Serato DJ Pro installed. So at that point, I can plug in an external drive, like my Lacy Rugged right here, or I can even before that, after I created this, I can add a certain amount of I can add a certain amount of files on here, so I can do everything just for one drive. operating system, Serato DJ Pro, and music all from one drive. Now, if I didn't, then I would have my music here, operating system, and program here. Now, the test that I did, it was very successful using Serato DJ in internal mode. And internal mode, if you're not familiar with Serato DJ, you got three modes. You got absolute, relativity, and internal mode. Absolute, if you're using vinyl, it's just like you're using vinyl. Wherever you put the needle, that's where you're skipping to. Those are your cue points, so to say. That's where you're doing it. So in absolute mode, you're working just like on vinyl. In relativity mode, you're using it as DBS. You wherever you put your needle, it doesn't change the positioning of your track. It just pauses. You just taking it off the record. There's nothing playing. You putting it back down. The control signal is still there. So that right there is more of a skipless method. Now, internal mode is where you have either no hardware connected, or you have hardware connected, but you're not using it. You're using everything from the keyboard. You're using your W and your S key to play. You're using your shift and your arrow keys to load up specific tracks to your decks, and all the other functions that you have there. You basically a keyboard DJ, keyboard laptop DJ. So in internal mode, it was successful. I didn't have any glitches. I didn't see any issues or anything. It ran completely smooth. Let's see what's going on. I got real quick before I start. I think let me get my screen open fully. My man Eric, what's going on? Eric, present in the house. What's going on? All right, now this is Eric. This is what I've been telling people about for like years. Every every DJ group, the Serato groups, all of them, even the one that I'm the admin of, the Rain groups, the Phase groups, the 1200 DJ groups, any DJ that's using a computer or a laptop with DVS, whether it's Tractor, Virtual DJ, Mixbot, Serato, even if you're using Torque or Final Scratch, this right here, this right here is the ultimate. I have not really found any cons to this. And I would, if you can find a serious con to this, let me know. Let me know. I Out of the 5 years, I have not found any serious cons to why you should not be using this method. And I have installed this, done this for mobile DJs and even tour DJs, which, if you're touring, you need to have you need to have a flawless system. You don't need to have any crashes or anything that happened during your performance, because you got thousands of people that you're entertaining. So any event that you do have a flaw, it should not be your laptop, because your laptop will be running just as it did when it came out the box. So you shouldn't have any issues there. Now, let me turn this off. All right. So now the 2010 MacBook Pro, which I got recently, I went ahead today and I went ahead and put the operating system on it, which I think I forgot. I left the flash drive. Yep, I left the flash drive upstairs. So I'm gonna have to run and get the flash drive when I get ready to get started. But but like I said, I went ahead and put what did I put on here? I put High Sierra on here for the main. And then after I did that, because I already have it partitioned how I want to run it, that I'm like, well, let me not do that yet. Let me go ahead and tonight I'm gonna show y'all how to do hashtag Operation Superhero or performance in all caps. And I use performance in all caps for a reason. Performance dual boot. If you in any group, search under one of those, either one of those search words, keywords, and you'll find something that I've said or I've shared this idea or whatever. So give me just a second. Let me run up because I'm going to need the flash drive in order to do this. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do this step by step and other tips and tricks that you need to learn along the way. So this is going to be epic. I'm real excited. Be right back just a second. All right, I'm back. Now, let me get a seat so I can go ahead and get started. Now, this method, all right, camera, zoom right here, zoom. Here we go. Good. I'm in focus. All right. Now, this method, once again, I call it hashtag Operation Superhero or Performance Dual Boot. Let me explain the hashtag Operation Superhero. Now, I did the hashtag so it can be found a lot easier if you want to look up the process in any DJ group or wherever. So, whenever I mention it, I start off with the hashtag superhero. So, where does the superhero come in? Okay, this is where the superhero part comes in. All right, now the process that this works, you have two partitions. You have your main partition, and then you have a performance partition. Your main partition is, let's say right now, your main partition is your current hard drive. You have all your music, you have your programs, you check your email, you download from record pools, you check your social media, you even do video editing, music production. That's basically your day-to-day use partition right there. Hence, here's where it comes in. The superhero part come in. Hence, this is your Peter Parker, your Clark Kent, your Bruce Wayne partition. This is that alter ego partition. This is the partition that does the day-to-day work. Fine, cool. You got that partition over here. Now let's go over here to this partition. You create another partition on that drive. Now, this partition does not need as much space as this partition over here. So you would primarily give this partition most of the space on that drive. As for this partition right here, you can work as much as 30 gigs. I would say 50 or 60, but 30 is the minimum that you need, but I would say 50 or 60 minimum, and then you can go as high as you want to because you're really not going to use that much. Once once you start once you set it up for that first time, the amount of changes or the things that you're going to add is just going to trickle. You're not going to add a whole lot to it. Now, that's if you follow my guidelines. If you don't follow the guidelines that I'm about to tell you, then that size can go from here to here real fast. So you need to make sure that you listen clearly because you want to have at least 20% of the space available so you can run that partition. If you don't follow my guidelines and your space starts to decline to here, then you're gonna either need to redo that partition, you're gonna need to clear some stuff off, or whatever. You either need to start over or you need to clear stuff off. Really, when I get to the end of this, I would tell you what you would need to have on that drive and nothing else. All right, so over here on your main, Bruce Wayne, Peter Parker, and Clark Kent. That's your alter ego main partition. Over here, we have your Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. This is the superhero part of it. Superhero because it is your performance drive. Put that in caps. Performance drive. This is your performance drive, which is the second name. Performance dual boot, which now you have two drives that you can boot to. And it's just a matter of when you get ready to turn your computer on, holding down the option key, you'll get a list of options of drives that you can boot to, your main partition or your performance partition. Now, depending on what you're doing at that time, you go to one or the other. Now, there's other methods that you could use it too. Like you could even create a third partition if you have enough space on your drive. You can create a third partition, and with that partition, if you want to experiment and do like beta testing, like say for instance, you want to check out Big Sur, you want to check out the newest operating system, but you don't want to lose anything that you currently have on there. Put it on the third partition, and then you can install your Serato, or you can play with other programs on that partition. And when you're done, delete it. Just get rid of it. You don't need it. And then at that point, you can decide, okay, this Big Sur is now stable. I want to replace my main with that, which I'm gonna tell you, in some cases, you don't want to do that. You want to have, if you want to upgrade to the newest operating system, then don't replace your current operating system with that because you could run into some issues there. And some of the issues that I've seen before, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have experienced when you try to do an upgrade, is that you upgrade it to the newest operating system, or you upgrade it to the newest operating system that your hardware or your program recommends you to. Now, when you upgrade it to this new operating system, did you not think what may happen to other programs that you have that won't operate on that operating system or currently not stable enough to run on that operating system? So now you got programs here that have circle with a cross in it, which means they don't work. Now you got to try to find out a way to go back. So either now you need to create another partition. If you have two partitions, you have to create another partition that goes back to whatever programs that's non-compatible, which now, not only that, you have this clean operating system that may be a downgrade from what you're currently using, but your programs is over here. So now you gotta install or copy your programs back over here. So the best thing to do, keep this stable. Whatever you're currently using, let it stay what it is, where it is. If you buy another piece of hardware or another program, and it recommends that you use something higher than what you're currently using, create a partition for it and use it on that partition. Trust me, that right there never fails. I've seen people where they went to the newest operating system, and suddenly they found out that their Pro Tools doesn't work because Pro Tools haven't haven't updated to that newest operating system, or the version that they have stops at that partition. Their particular version stops at that, and then in order for you to use it with the new one, you got to buy a new version. So they created a whole new version in order to work with that new operating system that you have to either purchase the upgrades for, or you have to buy a whole new program. So all your program and all your data is basically, it's not lost, but you can't use it. You can't use it because you can't use the program. So like I said, don't do it. If you want to, leave your main where it is, create your performance for doing your events, your gigs, your live streams, your radio shows, or whatever. And then you can create a third one, call it beta. Call it beta, and that's your experimental partition. You can play around with stuff on it. Now, I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna try that. Uh, well, I guess I can't try it because this one won't go up to Big Sur. I don't have a MacBook that can go up to Big Sur. So, in the event that you did want to try something different, then create that third partition. So again, the Operation Superhero comes from, you got an alter ego, and then you got your superhero. Your superhero is your performance in caps. That's your performance partition, and that's what I'm going to be installing today. Now, I already have my main installed. My main I installed it earlier, and it's fresh and clean as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna install the exact same, but I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna eliminate all the icons I don't need out of the toolbar at the bottom. I'm gonna clean everything up to where only the programs that I know I need will be there. And then I'm gonna show you how to optimize. We're gonna go through and do Serato optimization to get it even more cleaner. And also, I'm gonna be listing a lot of other tips and tricks along the way, because there's gonna be some moments during this install that we're gonna have a little downtime waiting for the process to finish, and in this time, I'll be taking questions, comments, or whatever, and we'll just be talking DJ stuff until it completes. So let's go ahead and get ready to get started, because this is going to be, I'm not going to say really long, but it's going to take a minute. Now, let's start out first. First, this is what you need to do this. One, you need a flash drive. On that flash drive, you need to have the operating system that you want to add as your performance. So you may have to go into your app store on your MacBook. Go into your app store, go to My Purchase, and any operating systems that you have available, go ahead and download them. Now, if you don't upgrade to specific operating systems, you won't be able to download. You have to download them in order for them to be saved in your purchase. So, say for instance, if the last operating system that I downloaded was Yosemite, then I'm not going to have El Capitan. I'm not going to have Sierra. I'm not going to have High Sierra. I'm not going to have any operating system up to that point. So you may want to, at least when it tells you to upgrade, when you have in the top right corner that it wants you to upgrade, you can go ahead and have that downloaded but not installed. Don't have it to install. So make sure that your uh, there is a way that you can turn your automatic install off, but it you have to go through the terminal. There's a script and a lot of backdoor stuff that you have to do to disable that. But there's a way you could just download it and not have it to install. I would say download it and then move it to another location, either download it to your external drive or put it in a different folder. Put it in a folder where it can't be found for the upgrade to process. So that's the first thing you need. You need a flash drive. The minimum size for the flash drive needs to be about 8 gigs. Now there are programs once you get your once you get your flash drive and you have your operating system, there is a program that you can use. If you look up, what is it? I think it's diskmaker.com. If you look that up, it will create the bootable flash drive with your operating system on it. And make sure that you find the one specifically for the operating system that you have, because they have several. And for each one handles a specific set of operating systems. So you need to make sure that you download the right one. And if I remember right, I think that is Disk Maker. I have it on this MacBook. So when I get a second, I'm going to cut it off. Now, the second thing that you need after you had your flash drive and you have your operating system using Disk Maker, the next thing that you're going to need space on your drive. So you need to carve out at least 50 gigs to 60 gigs of space. Now, after installing your operating system, it's only going to take about 20 to 25. So you're giving up, you're making sure that you have half, and then you're going to have whatever essential programs that you need to run on that partition. And this is only the programs that you need. And we'll get to that toward the end. That you're gonna need a little bit more space for, but it's not gonna be as much as your operating system. So that's the next thing you need. I would say, let's see, flash drive, space on your hard drive, and the next thing that you're gonna need, and you may be able to put it on the same flash drive. If you create a separate folder and put it in there, install the programs that you want on that partition. So if you need like a Serato or a Tractor or Virtual DJ or whatever, install that version in a folder on this drive so that when you're finished, you can also install the programs from this drive. So those are the three things that you need. That's it. Don't need nothing else. You need your flash drive with your operating system, space on your hard drive. Make sure you have at least 50 gigs or more, and your programs, whatever programs that you want to use. Because in this process, when you use Performance Dual Boot, I recommend this: no internet, no Bluetooth, and there are ways. How can I download my music? How can I do this? How can I do that? I'm gonna show you how you can do your downloads, where you can download your new music from your record pools or whatever. Be able to do everything you want to do, but still keep this crisp and clean. Crisp and clean. So let's go ahead and get ready to get started. I got to do a little bit more setup because I need to set up another camera. So let me get my monopod stand here because I'm going to put another camera in front of me. Okay. that high enough? Yep, that's good. All right, so what's going on, Eric? Let me check out what you got going on. Let me see what you got. Let's see. Okay. Get ready to do Mac straight from music and stream it on Windows. Now you could use this, and now you can also do this on Windows. I've done this on Windows as well. And the method for Windows, I mean, it's the same. You have to have your operating system. You have to have your partition. But Windows is a little bit more difficult and tedious because with Windows you got to have drivers. And so the next step with Windows is you gotta make sure that you download your drivers for the laptop or the desktop that you're working on. So that's that is going to take me a little longer. The Windows version is, I may try to squeeze it in for next week because I still have to do the emergency hard drive for Windows, and doing that is like the same thing. Yeah, I'm doing an install of Windows 10, but I got to have drivers. So I mean, I've already started downloading the drivers, but and I haven't did the flash drive yet. I think I need to go and get another flash drive. I'm running low on flash drives, so that's why I haven't did that one yet. I've been putting off from trying to do that one. So that one is going to be one that I have that's going to be coming up soon. I may be able to get to it next week. Don't know, but we'll find out. So Windows, you could do this process for both Windows and Mac, the emergency hard drive and the performance dual boot, because who's that? Yes, sir.
Are you doing something?
Yes, I'm live.
Okay.
What you need? Can you come on? Cause you're messing up my screen. Say hello.
Hello.
Junior.
Okay.
Do I need to mute?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm back. Now I'm setting up because I'm setting up my phone to do the video, to record, because I'm gonna need you to show everything that I have on my screen. So I will have a phone right here showing what's going on the screen. All right, let's see.
Turning it off.
Let me see what you had a question. Suggestion for a Mac. Let me see what you said before that. Getting ready to do a Mac straight for music and streaming on Windows. Okay. Any suggestion on Mac? Now, what? Okay, he's gone now. Okay, I would tell him that you said hello. What is the question that you have for suggestion for Mac? Be a little bit more detail what you mean by that. So let me get your comment on that so I can understand what you're saying. All right, let's see. Okay, what did I do? Okay, that's YouTube video. Put that down here. For Serato, this just watch this and see if this might be something that you might be interested in because like I said, it's I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years on two different Macs. This will be the third Mac that I've done it for. Plus, I've done it for a few other people. So this may be your best option. Like I said, this is the ultimate because, like I said, I haven't found any real flaws. The only flaw that I found is that you got to have space. You got to have a little bit more space on your hard drive. Now, I do this a little bit more extreme than what I'm going to show because two of my MacBooks have room for extra drives. I could put two drives in them. So with that, I also do something a little bit extra. So that's what I'm gonna show that as well when I get a minute. Probably during the downtime, I'm gonna show how mine is set up. Oh man, just had I lost it. All right, I'm trying to get my second screen set up so this phone right here will be able to show the screen. And I'm almost there. Test, test, test. All right. Test, test, testing, test, test, testing. Okay. Mute. Testing. It should be muted. All right. Let's. And like I said, this is probably the method that you want to use. Okay, I need to invert this screen. All right, here we go. That camera. Right there. I have to move it in a little bit closer. Zoom in a little bit more. All right, let's see. Hopefully y'all should be able to see that. And let me get that on screen. Okay, I don't have that centered. All right, now I may need to move it in a little bit more. That's as close as I can get it. Let's get this full screen. Call me Junior. All right, can you see that, Eric? All right, can you see that right there? Let me see if I can so just let's get an older Mac with these three partitions on our drive. You don't have to have three partitions, you can do two. I was saying if you want to play around with beta operating systems, then do a third one and have that new operating system always use that drive. Always use that partition for any experimental type things, but leave your performance and your main separated from that. That way you can play around with that. I haven't did the beta partition yet. I may try it on this one later on, opening up another I may take the because I got three partitions on it now. I got main, performance, and then I got storage and music, which I'm gonna get into that later, or whenever I get a little downtime once I get started to show you why I have that set up too, because you're also going to need to do something like that as well. You don't have to, but the method that I use, that's how I do it. So whenever I'm doing backups or time machines, everything is time machine backup different. My main is a time machine. Partition performance is a time machine. And then my storage and music is a different time machines. And that may be time machines on different drives. I may have backup drives where main and performance is saved on one hard drive as a backup, and then I have storage and music saved on another one. So in the event whenever one crashes, you just make a backup of the other one. It's better than having everything consolidated on one drive. Then when that drive crashes, guess what? You have to do everything. So have everything separated out means that you only replacing one thing and not the entire whole. But on this drive, since I haven't put a second drive in this one yet, if this drive crashes, then I would need to do everything. But eventually, I'm gonna add another drive to it, and then I will be able to add it just like my other MacBooks to where main and performance is on this one, and storage and music is backed up over here. So hopefully that answered the question about that. You have another one. Okay, you can see. All right. Superman in the house. Oh man, I forgot I even had Superman. Yep. That's ironic. I really didn't know this. I wear this all the time since we got cold. We got like, I don't know. Y'all must have sent Mother Nature down here to clean up or something, because she came down here after that rain and just brought cold weather with her. We went down to, I think some areas went down to like 39 degrees. So I mean, dang, no, 29 degrees, 29 degrees. And some places even had snow, little dusting. You know how Atlanta is. You get a little dust on the sidewalk, shut the whole city down, close down everything, ice everywhere, salt trucks out and everything, just for a little bit of dust. But all right, so yeah, I didn't even really, seriously, I didn't even realize that I had the Superman jacket on. Got this from Six Flags. Sweet. What else you said? You said what's the best Mac for this what is the best Mac for this 2 years, 3 years old? Of course, my favorite Macs are the 11 and 12, preferably the 12 before mid 12, or mid 12 stops. Once you get into late 2012, you're in the Retina group. When you get into the Retina, you're taking away some of your upgrade options. You can upgrade your storage, but you can't upgrade your memory. Your memory is soldered onto the logic board. So if you get uh, anything above anything above 13, late 2012, 13 or whatever, your memory is going to be final. Whatever, if you got 4 gigs of RAM, that's what you're going to get. And eventually, you will want to upgrade from that, because as your computer starts getting older, the requirements for the operating system and programs are going to ask for more memory. And you're going to notice that it's going to run more sluggish, which is another reason that I say to do the Operation Superhero Performance Dual Boot, because it'll at least make it run close to what it was when it got out the box, as for what it's run like 2 years or a year later, where you have a lot of stuff on there and it's running sluggish. So that's why I always mention that. But I'm trying to understand your question. What is the best Mac for this 2 years or 3 years old. Explain what you mean by that. Now you can do this. You can probably do this. I haven't had my hands on a newer Mac yet, but if it has a hard drive, you can add a partition. You can do this. Now the thing is, what operating systems can you put on there? So in order for you to check that, what I would recommend you doing is go to everymac.com. That's everymac.com. In the top toolbar, go to click on lookup. When you go to lookup, then it's going to ask you to put in your serial numbers. Now, your serial numbers can be found on the bottom of the Mac. It may be real small. It's going to be on the bottom of the Mac near where the hinges is. It's going to be the very last line at the very end. It's going to be like I think like 9 to 12 characters, alphanumeric characters or whatever. You put that in, and then you click the option saying that you're not a robot, and you might have to go through and do the little thing where click on all the fire hydrants, and you have to click on them, and then basically to find out if you're not a bot or not. So you go through do that, and it's going to pull up all the specs for that particular laptop if you haven't done any upgrades. And that's what I use all the time, everymac.com, to find out what the specs of somebody's laptop. And it even gives more specs than what you would if you looked at it from Apple's website. So make sure you check it out, everymac.com. As for your question about, I hope I'm answering it right. Let me make sure because you're saying something now. Did I answer it? Okay, answered. Cool. All right. So now let's move on. I got that set up, and with this MacBook, I'm gonna have to plug in because besides the issue where he couldn't get it to boot or couldn't get an operating installed on it, is the battery. The battery is failing. It's an old MacBook, so it is about time to change the battery. So let me get. Well, I got that one. Let me. Okay, I gotta turn this on. Switch. There we go. So, all right, now we're charged up. All right, first I'm gonna show you what the clean operating system looks like. All right, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop off. I'm gonna turn the mic on here. All right, let me know if you can you still hear me? Respond if you can still hear me. Because right now you should be hearing me through the phone. See if I can buy old Macs from Mac. Yeah, I think they sell okay, good. All right. I think they sell. I'm not for sure whether they sell Macs on there or if they have like third party companies that they recommend. All right, let's see. Try to get it where I got it full screen and lock it. Okay, I guess that's as much as full screen as I can get to where you can see everything. All right, as you can see, This is fresh, nothing installed. I didn't put anything else on here. So this is a fresh operating system. Now, the first thing that you want to do, first step that you need to do is create your partition. Now, I've already created my partition, but I'm going to go through the steps to show you how to create your partition. All right, go into Finder. When you get Finder to open up, then go to Applications. And then from Applications, scroll all the way down to your utility folder, okay, there we go. Go to Utilities. Okay, there we go. Now, another quick way that you could use it, and here's a shortcut right here. You can go to your eyeglass, your magnifying glass right here. I forgot what you call it. Spotlight search. And you could type in disk utility, and that'll also take you there too. But I'm not going to use that. That's just a shortcut that you can use. So anyway, you're going to go to disk utility. You're going to open up disk utility. And I can close that out now. And right here, you see 3 different partitions. You see main, performance, which is empty, and then storage. Now, I've already created my my performance partition and my storage, which my storage was never touched. Now, I do need to go and make some changes to my main, so my home screen, my home folder will be shown in storage. And let me show you that real quick. Let me open up. And you can also see the list of devices. I'm already in my main, so it's not showing up in devices. My performance, which is empty, and then my storage. Now, my storage, I just got some stuff here. I have a Serato folder, utility folder. What I need to do later on is set up my home folder for main to save everything here. So all this stuff, applications, download, desktop documents, it will be saved here and not in the main, which will conserve a lot of space in the main. Just want to show that, and I'll get back to that later. But anyway, you want to create your performance. And let's see. All right, it's not showing the drive. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick a flash drive in here and show how you would need to create your partition, because it's not showing me my actual drive. Even though if you look at the size, my main is 82.84 gigs. Performance is 40.22. Storage is a lot bigger. Of course, this drive is probably, this is a 250 gig drive. So I'm not going to have a whole lot of space on it. Now, I'm going to stick a flash drive in here. And just on this flash drive, I'm going to show how you need to create your partition. All right, this is not even the flash drive. So, okay, now this is what I'm gonna do. This is the steps that you need to do in order to create your partition. But you're gonna create it on your main hard drive, which mine does not show. Let me see. Okay, I had the wrong setting, so I do not need that flash drive. All right, take that out. I'm gonna do performance over. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do performance over. Actually, I'm gonna change performance. I'm gonna delete it
Let's go here. All right. Let's. Okay, now let's say this is your position. This is where you currently are right now. Besides the fact that you don't have a storage partition, a storage and music. Let's just say you have one large main partition. Ignore the fact that there's a storage there. Let's not even pretend that the storage is there when it's done, because I'm gonna create everything off of the main. So this much of the drive, everything that's in magenta, ignore that. We're gonna do everything off the blue. So now at this point, I have basically it's a half and half. It's almost a split, but I want more of the storage and music because that's where a lot of data is going to go to. So I want to make sure that that stays large. This can be reduced. So now I have my drive selected, which is a Hitachi 250 gig drive. I'm going to go to partition. Now, when I go to partition, as you can see, it's split half and half. Half main on this side and storage music on this side. But like I said, ignore the storage. This is what we're going to split. So what you're going to do, you're going to highlight your hard drive. You're going to click a plus because you want to add a partition. Now it's going to show up untitled. Now you want to change the name of that to performance caps. Oh, I did not have the cap lock on. All right, now you also want to adjust the size. I can leave it at a half and half, but I don't need as much of performance than what I do main. So I'm gonna give main a little bit more, and I'm gonna reduce it down to about 50 gigs. I could go back to 40. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go to 40 because this is only gonna be temporary. But I suggest 50, maybe more, because I know what I'm gonna put on here. So I can do 40, but if you're gonna be adding multiple DVS, if you're gonna be adding, stuff that now don't put OBS, don't use OBS on this partition, because one thing I stress is don't use the same laptop for music and streaming. Use two different laptops. So I know I'm not going to put I know I'm not going to put OBS on it. It's going to be Serato, Tractor, Virtual DJ, whatever other DVS programs, and then whatever else. Of course, when you're using Serato, you have to install QuickTime. So QuickTime is an essential program that I'm gonna need to run. So only essential. I mean, the only our plugins like Serato Video, I may have to install. Well, you don't even have to install it now. Serato Video is automatically in the version of Serato. You just need to make sure that you have your license and stuff set up for it. So I'm going to leave this at 40 gigs. And I'm going to go ahead and click apply and partition. Now, you can also do this. This partition operation is modifying your boot volume. Boot volume is okay. All right, that's really not that important. And then pull that up so I can see what's going on. All right, so you can also do this right before you do the install. but I suggest go ahead and do it before you get ready to do the install, so you don't have to worry about that process and you can skip that steps. And I'll show you again where you can pull up dish utilities right before the install. All right, so waiting for this to finish up. All right, let me move it to the side and you can see where it's changing, and there it's done. Operation successful, and you can see it's pretty much back to the way I had it. Of course, my main is a larger, and of course, it's the same bit of this, except I took out 40 gigs on this side to make a performance, but I still have my main, and my storage is untouched. Now, we're ready to shut down, restart, and get ready to start the process. All right, so now at this point, I'm closing everything out. Now I'm gonna restart. Now, when I restart, right before it boots back up, I'm gonna hold down the option key. You need to hold down the option key in order for this process to work. Even after you complete it, when you're transitioning over between partitions, holding down the option key gives you the option to do what you need to do. So I'm clicking on, and let's see, we'll just, yep, let that say the same. I'm gonna hold down my option key, even though it still hasn't gone out yet. Still got my cursor right here. Okay, there we go. Now it should be restarted. All right, now it's restarting. I got my white screen, and here are my options. Okay, it didn't give me my performance, but I know my performance is there. The reason that it hasn't given me my performance yet is because it's blank. So it does not recognize it as a bootable operating system. So what I have right here now is my main and a recovery. And this recovery is basically, it's a downloadable recovery. It will recover whatever operating system this is at this point. And I think that's, let's see, 13. I think that's El Capitan, which I don't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do now, find my flash drive. Now this flash drive, this is a tech flash drive that I created with multiple operating systems on it. This is a Micro Center 64 gig USB 3.0 flash drive. So now watch what happens when I plug it in. I probably should have plugged it in before, but now I'm gonna plug it in and you'll see what's on this flash drive. All right, now these are, I have more, but this, I had a problem with something with the drive, so I need to recorrect this drive. I have three options that I could choose from. I have Mojave, I have Mojave, High Sierra, and Sierra. Now my main is High Sierra. I'm gonna also go with another version of High Sierra just for my performance. That way, it's more to where it can cater to new programs, and then it can also cater to old programs. Which, if it doesn't cater to old programs, then I can go back. Now with High Sierra, I could put Scratch Live on it. There's a shortcut around to where you can get Scratch Live and other programs to install on there. That will be another time. Just ask me about that later. So I'm gonna select this as for what I want to use. I'm gonna click on it, or no, I need to hit enter. All right, so now that's getting ready to run. Okay, be right back. All right, so this may take a few minutes. You're waiting for it to boot up so I can do the install. So like I said, you want to make sure that you have your the operating system choice that you want to install. Have it ready. Oh, you didn't miss much. Right now, I'm waiting for. I think you may have saw where I choose the option of the. Well, you may not have a drive that have other options on it. Mine's had 3 different options. I went ahead and chose High Sierra again, so that's what I'm gonna use for this install. Let's see if I can change this view. All right, so we're waiting for this. Shouldn't take long. Since this is clean all the way through, it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take as long. Now, if yours is slow and sluggish, then it's probably going to take a little longer. If you're using, and you do have the option, if you didn't see earlier, where before I plugged the flash drive in, I had my main drive and then I had a recovery drive. If you don't have a flash drive, then you can go with the recovery option. Now, the recovery option is going to require a little bit more. You're going to have your Apple ID. You're going to have to log into your Apple ID so it can pull up that particular operating system. But you're going to only be able to install the operating system that it gives you. So I think at that point, I think it gave me El Capitan. I'm not for sure. Let me see. It may be. While I got a minute, let me look that up and see which operating system that it's going to give me. That it gave me. It gave me 1013. 1013. Nope, High Sierra. I still could have. I could have used it. So at that point, it gave me the option that I could have either installed High Sierra from the flash drive, or I can install High Sierra from the recovery. Now, the recovery takes a lot longer because you're using your internet. So I suggest, if you're running a recovery, to use an Ethernet cable to have it hardwired into your router, so you're getting the fastest speed as possible, as opposed to doing over Wi-Fi. So you may look at like several hours before that completes. All right, so now we're at Mac utility screen. Now, if at this point, you didn't do your disk utility, you didn't go and create your partition, now is the time to do it. And I'm just going in so we can see what's going on. This need to go to view again, all devices. And this is what I had earlier when I went into it. So I have my main, my performance, which you see is empty, and then my storage, which I have a little stuff on it. Now this right here, this media, all these are different operating systems. Let's see, that's Mojave, High Sierra, Sierra, El Capitan, Yosemite, Maverick, and other stuff, which is empty. I was supposed to have 2 more. I got to redo this. The last 3, El Capitan, Yosemite, and Maverick, don't show up. So I have to create that flash drive again. And I'm going to work on that next. But anyway, this is what I have. If you haven't done what I showed you earlier, then at this point on your main, you want to split your main into and have a performance partition. So now we're done. We don't need that. Now we're ready to install the operating system. So I'm gonna go to install Mac OS. Now also you can do. Nah, you don't do that. I was gonna say you can restore your time machine back up to this new OS, but like I said, you want to keep it clean, and keep it fresh. So we're gonna do a brand new, crispy High Sierra operating system. So all right, I clicked on it, waiting for it to, yeah, it's processing because continue is grayed out, and this is the operating system that I'm installing. So we'll go ahead and click continue, go through the terms and agreements. Yes, I agree. All right, now at this point, you need to choose where you're installing it to. I don't need to install it on main because I already have main. Make sure you don't click this one by accident, because otherwise you will possibly overwrite your main partition and lose all your data. You may not, but usually whenever you're doing this, it just only replaces the operating system. It doesn't touch your data. So this is where I want to install. These are the 3 partitions I have. Performance is the one that I want to create. Click and install. And ignore that time because it never takes whatever time that it says. And I'm going to check and see how long it's going to take. Okay, I'm running a watch. And usually when I do this with Yosemite, it starts out at 22 minutes. And it says 22 minutes. You get 22 minutes for like 30 minutes. And then it starts to decrease to maybe 20 minutes. So the time is never accurate. But we will see here. Because this one, it does a lot of reboots with High Sierra. I think when I did it earlier, it went through about 3 or 4 reboots. Let's see if we can get this. I don't like this camera being so crooked. So actually, you can do this. You could do this without having it on your flash drive. What I would recommend is what you can do to find out what operating system that you can get without even going through the process is shut your computer down, shut it completely down, turn on the power, immediately put one hand on the option key, turn the power on. When you get the options, you're going to get a recovery. You should get a recovery on the right hand side. That's going to list one of your options. Whatever option that shows, that will be the operating system that you can upgrade to without having to put on flash drive. That's the one you could recover to using the internet. So if you're satisfied with that one, then you can go ahead. It may be something newer. It may be something older. I mean, you won't know until you find out what your system limit. Sorry, and let me see what's going on with Eric because he was saying something. All right, let's see. We'll check YouTube post once done. All right, 30 to 40 minutes with Apple or Windows. Yep. Have to take care. Okay. All right, so there's the first restart. And that took And my watch need to be charged. I think it was probably about 40 minutes, 4 minutes. Wasn't that long. So at this point right now, I'm basically the hard part is most of the hard part is done. Or what some people may think is the tedious part is done. All right. Now, what I'm going to do after this is done, and I show exactly how you need to have everything set up. Once you have this done, I'm gonna show exactly if you have 2 drives, the way that I set it up on my 2 drive system. So at this point, you do not want to remove, and I just did this by accident. I wasn't paying attention because it wasn't in use. You don't want to take your flash drive. Don't mess with your flash drive or anything until the whole process is complete to where it reboots and you need to log in. Okay, so at this point right now, it's going to take about 21 minutes. So let's see, probably about 30 minutes. Like what Eric said, 30 to 40 minutes is the time. And it's probably one more reboot at this point. After the next reboot, then I'll be putting in like all my information, language selection, putting in the internet, Apple ID, all that stuff. Now, I would not be using the internet with this, so I will skip that step. You can put in your Apple ID, which I guess it doesn't matter. And I'm not for sure whether you can skip that step, but I would not be using it to connect to the internet. And I'll show that step once I get to it as for what you need to do to avoid using the internet, or in the case that you have to use the internet. Let's move a little bit over. come up on screen for a second. All right, now while we're waiting for this to finish, like I say, this is gonna run like a separate computer itself, because you're booting to each one individually. You can use your main for your day-to-day operations, and you're going to use your performance, which is exactly for that, your performance. You're going to use it for your events, your gigs, whether you're doing a wedding, a nightclub, um, a sports bar, a birthday party, or whatever, to doing your live streaming. If you're streaming to Zoom, if you're streaming to Twitch, Mixcloud, Facebook, YouTube, Play, DJ.tv, whatever you're doing in a performance situation, that's what you're going to use this for. So remember that and try to use it at that point. So you will shut down, reboot, holding down the option key, selecting the performance, and letting it boot into that partition. And like I said, as long as you have it set to where it's, as long as you have it set to where your performance is clean, you're not cluttering it with a lot of stuff. And I'm gonna go through and tell you how to have it clean, what not to do and what to do to have it clean, to where you would never have to worry about that 40 gig of space becoming to where it's 50, and or worrying about to where that 40 gigs is almost gone. So that's the stuff that I'm gonna talk about toward the end, to how you can get that cleaned up. So I think right now we're through the halfway point. How can I change that view? I think my camera may be a little crooked. All right, we are a little bit over half, maybe about 60%. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Well, no, I'm gonna show you. Since I did not download Serato, I'm gonna download Serato from main and install it. I'm gonna show you how you can access and install it into performance without having to download in performance. So then this way, any installs, you will go to main to do the downloads, but you will access it from performance to install it. That way, You won't have the actual DMG or the zip file or whatever the file extension will be in order for you to install it. It will not be in the performance partition period. The only thing you'll be doing, you'll be installing it from maybe storage music or maybe even main, which I don't even suggest that. But since I haven't changed my main folder, that's what it's going to be doing. All right, so this is the part that takes up a little time, but it doesn't take up as much time as for what it does if it's an older partition. If it was Yosemite or maybe El Capitan, but Yosemite and Maverick, it takes a lot longer. All right, guys, we got about 1 minute left.
Sitting here waiting.
Sitting here waiting for it to finish.
After it finishes,
After it finishes, it's going to
hopefully, I think
reboot. Hopefully, I think in the last process. So that's what we're waiting on. We got about 1 minute left.
testing.
Here's your tree. Now we gotta decorate it. Oh, come out with the little book. Let's decorate your tree. Slagaga! 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 Merry Christmas!
That's great, Martin.
Oh, come on, babe. Don't punk out on me now. Look, we agreed that we would spend Christmas together, you and me alone. Now, come on, boo. Where's the smile? Come on. Just the smile.
Why is my cursor?
Oh, listen.
Cursor is not moving. All right, now
Now it's going through the second reboot. And at this point, the install is done. I just need to run through and complete the rest of the setup. So you can probably do this in about an hour. An hour if you can go through the process quickly. Maybe hour 15, hour and a half if you've never done it before. Trying to find out why is my cursor. Cursor is not moving. Great. All right, there we go. My cursor has disappeared, but now I got control over it again. Need to mute that mic. now we're to the point where it's about to start with the process of me selecting various stuff like language, keyboard, internet, and there we go. We're to the welcome screen. This is the home stretch for the install. So now I need to go through and select, make sure I have that selected. Language, keyboard, US. All right, now I don't want it to use Wi-Fi, and I may have to do this and then just disable it. Yeah, I guess it needs to do this in order to finish the process.
You just walked in, now I'm depressed. See a pattern?
Shut up, Mom. I'm serious. She's sick of this place. She wants to be at home in Philadelphia with her parents for Christmas.
No, she doesn't, all right? Me and Gina talked about it, all right? And she wants to be with her man. You know why? Because she...
All right, so we're waiting for this process to finish up. All right, data and privacy. Yep, go ahead. Now, if you're doing a time machine backup, which at this point you don't need to do, we're not doing a time machine backup, but in the event that you have a backup, you're doing a recovery and you need to get your backup. This is the point where you would go through and select this, but we're not doing any transfer. We're doing a fresh clean install, so you want to skip all that. This right here, you're gonna need to put in your Apple ID. If this is your first time as a Mac user, then you would need to go to create new Apple ID. But if you have one already, put in your email for that account. All right, now I gotta do this from the phone. It's asking me for a code. And at this point, I'm gonna turn my camera off so I can do this. All right, so terms and condition. Okay, agree. And do not want that as my image. Where is the record? Select that one. That's what I want, a record. All right, I'm gonna name this performance. right. And that should finish it out right there. And I need to plug in to a charger because this battery is about to go down on the phone. So hold on a second. Let me plug in somewhere where I can keep this buddy afloat. Okay, I dropped off for a second because trying to get the phone charged up. All right, this is the next screen. Some more stuff, express setup stuff. That's new to if you're using Sierra. And I can actually turn that stuff off. All right, store files from document and desktop. Okay, we'll go ahead and set that. Let that stay where it is. And this should be the end. And there we go. Now I'm gonna change this a little bit so you'll notice a difference between the main. You notice a difference between main and performance. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me switch back to my front screen so I can get this phone to charge up because it's not charging. Here we go. All right, so now I got my screen and everything is set. Now, what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to start taking some stuff off before I do setup. I don't need Siri, so let's get rid of that. I don't need that there. Remove. I don't need Launchpad, remove. Safari, nope. Mail, nope. Contacts, nope. Nope. Calendar. Notes. Let's let that stay because I can use that to add little reminders and stuff in. Maps. Nope. Photos. Nope. Messages. Nope. FaceTime. Nope. Because I will not be using it for the internet. iTunes. I'm gonna let it stay. Books. Nope. App Store. Nope. If I need it, I can. So this is it. This is all I need. And this right here is my performance screen. Now, at this point right here, my performance screen is set up. Now let's go in and let's change the background. Let's make the background a little something different. And you can see right here, this is my performance. Oh, I could have clicked on it, it was right there. So desktop screensaver. Let's choose something different. Let's go. I don't know if I ever had that one. I usually have this one. Let's go with this one. This is something different. Okay, so now this is my performance desktop. And let me go ahead and, as you can see, I still have the flash drive here. As you can see, everything from the flash drive is showing up. And let me mention this. Let me mention this note too. Let me bring myself up on screen so you can understand me when I say this. All right, now let me mention this and let me make myself clear on this. The way desktop works on a Mac compared to the way that it works on Windows are completely different. Whenever you have stuff on your desktop on Windows, it's for quick and easy access. Now, when you have it on Mac, it's actually stuff that runs in the background, whether it's if it's an executable file or not. Somehow it's running in the background and it's using some type of process. So let's say for instance you use your computer to do a lot of Photoshop and you save a lot of your stuff, your raw images or whatever to your desktop. So soon you got all these images that clutter your screen and you're wondering, why is my laptop running so slow? I haven't really did anything, but now it's running extremely slow. That's because you have your desktop that's full. Whenever you have something on your desktop, consider it like it's a program that's running. And let me show you. Let me show this. All right, now let's go back. Let's go back to this view again. All right, now we're back to this view. You see that all these icons over on this side are running or are basically on the screen. The only reason they're on the screen because I still have the flash drive in. Now, let's go to look at that flash drive or let's see what's going on. So now I'm gonna open up Finder. And you see in Finder, all these are showing, and they're basically where they're running where I can eject them. Everything that's on that flash drive is where I can eject it. Now, let's also go to, let's use my shortcut and go to disk manager or disk utility, excuse me. Okay. All right. So now we have Finder open, and we have disk utility. And let me minimize disk utility. And we have all these icons on the right hand side. And this is stuff that's running. Now, watch what happens when I get ready to take the flash drive out. And you see everything I can eject. And when I get ready to eject, and when I select one to eject, I'm gonna go ahead and select all. Since they're all on that flash drive, I need to eject them all at one time. So I'm about to eject the flash drive, or I'm about to pull the flash drive out. Okay, it's not giving me the option. Let me go over here to Finder. And see, it may be running slow now because I got all that stuff over there on the side. I can't get nothing open. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm not going to just eject one. I'm going to go ahead and eject all because I need to pull the whole flash drive. If I go ahead and pull it now, well, even if I eject this one, all the rest of them are going to show up on that side that I ejected or I pulled the flash drive without ejecting. So let me go ahead and eject all. And I usually don't, well, especially with Windows, I just pull the flash drive. They say you're supposed to eject it. I don't. I make sure that it's finished copying or whatever access that it needs to do before I disconnect it with Windows. Is highly suggested that you eject it. So now I'm waiting for it to eject. I still have the eject icons over here in Finder, as well as here in disk utility. So it takes a while to eject as opposed to just pulling. I can pull it and it'll be done. But if I'm using something in that, then that's gonna be that's gonna be an issue. Because then I could have a bad or corrupt file. So right now, I'm waiting for it, and I'm getting an update already. And I don't want that right now, so remind me tomorrow. No, we don't want to turn on. And like I say, Wi-Fi, turn it off. Turn it off. Actually, I would go in here and remove the connection that I have. Okay, I want to force eject. Yes. And the reason is that because I got several other things on that drive. And like I say, it's inserted to where it can run at any time. So it's on standby. All those operating systems are on standby, which you do not want. So any day now. I have no idea why Mojave is being used by a program, but it should be used by anything. But it's saying that it is. So I don't know why it is, but I'm getting to the point now. I'm about to get ready to pull it and eject it. But watch what it does when I pull it. 3, 2, 1. All right, cancel, 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 cancel. All right, of course I get this. This not ejected properly. Now look what happened. Everything disappeared. I don't have anything in the Finder. I don't have anything in this utilities, and all my icons left. So, and then of course that you saw it said Mojave was running other, and other programs were using Mojave. So obviously something that was using, and of course it's running a lot faster now because let's see. Yeah, it's running a lot faster now because it's not using, and Mojave is not running in the background. So everything is running just fine. Now, one thing you could do, you can go into here, and if you can, like chess, I don't need chess. This is not a computer that I'm going to use chess on. So why do I need it on here? So you can get rid of it if you can. But right here, my dock, that's all I need there for right now. For right now, now we're about to go ahead and put Serato on. And this is how, this is the moment. And I'm trying to get, let me just turn the TV off. Okay, TV won't turn off. All right, so now we're about to shut down and install our first program. Ouch, got shot. All right, so we'll go here. We are shutting down performance. Wait, and here's one thing that you want to do. Since performance is the new operating system, it may now be the default. Now, if you want to use this as your main MacBook again, you want your main to install. So you need to go into System Preferences, and I'm trying to remember where it is. Oh, Startup Disk. Go to Startup Disk, and you want to select main. See, right now, performance is your startup. Unlock. Put in my password that I use for performance to unlock it. Now, at this point, now if I want my performance to be my default boot, then I would leave it as is. But I want main to boot. I want it to boot normally, and I want to boot performance when I need it. So I want to go in and select main. And then, all right, it says right there that I selected main, and I want to lock it. So now I got it locked to where main is now the main drive that it boots up to. So you want to make sure that you do that. I mean, I could go and do it afterwards. I can go ahead and do the restart, hold down the option, and then select main. And then from inside main, go into the same option and make the change there. But I'm going into it now, so I don't have to worry about it later. So now close out. Oh, and y'all didn't even get to see that. Let me do that again so you can see it, because I didn't have that screen up. So let me go back to that. Let me go back to that again. Let me explain that process again. As I was saying again, when you reboot, since you just finished installing performance is going to be the default. If you don't touch anything when you restart, it's going to boot back to performance. Now, if you want it to stay performance, then fine, you let it stay. But if you want main to be your default, then you need to make this change. Go to your Apple logo here at the top, if you can see. Go to your Apple logo, System Preferences, go to Disk, Startup Disk. And right here, and I've already changed it, but I'm going to do it again. Right here, it will show, instead of main, it will say performance, and performance will be the one selected. In order to make that change, you got to unlock this. Click this to unlock, enter in your password. Unlock it, and then select main. It was this, but now I want my main to be my default. And then after you select it, lock it back, and then you're done. So when I reboot now and I don't touch any keys, it's going to go to main. So go to restart and restart. All right, so now it should reboot. All right, should reboot to main. Nothing else but main. I haven't touched anything. I haven't touched the keyboard. I just hit restart and I let it reboot on its own. All right. I don't know why I have this guest user here, but I'm gonna get rid of it because nobody will be using this but me. So log in here, password. All right, let me get rid of that guest user. Now this is my main. This is my main desktop. I don't have any programs installed on here, so that's why you don't see anything here. Now, necessarily, I don't need to use this for. I don't need to use this, but I can. I don't need to use this for a dual boot. Since I have other MacBooks, I can just let this stay where my main and just don't install anything on here. Just use one of my other MacBooks. Okay. I don't want to set that up. What I do want to do, I want to turn that guest off. So, and whenever you go to something and you can't access, if you see that padlock down there, that means you need to unlock it first. Because you won't be able to make any changes unless you unlock it. Nope. Don't want to see a tour, but I do want to get rid of this. And turn guest off. Now I got that off. I shouldn't have any more problems out of that. Like I said, if you didn't make the changes to startup, now is the time to do it if you want to keep the main. So click on the lock. It's going to ask you put in your password, put your password in, select which one you want to be your default on startup, and then turn the lock off. But we got that done. And now we're going to connect to the internet on here. I already have my internet set up. I have not been to any sites, but for some reason, okay, out of my account, it has sites already that I've been to. So I'm not actually going to any of these. But I do want to go to this one. And now this is the only one that I'm going to install just without without it being on flash drive, just to download. So whenever you do your downloads, this is what you're going to do, and this is going to finish it. This is basically going to finish everything off when I finish this. So I want to come in. Where's I don't want to do a trial. I just want to go straight download. Now we're going to come here, and to get your optimization, all right, you want to go here and find out what your requirements are. Of course, you need i3, which i3 you're going to have on a Windows desktop. I would suggest more than i3. i5, the minimum. That processor is really low. You want to have something in the 2 and 3 gigahertz. That is real low. So, I mean, even with this, you would have problems. So get something a lot higher than this. Screen resolution is about fine. Memory, I suggest 8. And everything else, 5 gigs, you definitely want to have more of that. Let's see. The optimization stuff is right here. You can find this too for Mac and Windows. So let's go ahead and download this, and I'm sure, yeah, I gotta sign in. All right, let me turn this off for a second while I sign in. All right, yes. All right, and I think it's done downloading. Let's see. What's this shortcut? Is it Command Shift J? All right. I can't see what my downloads. No, not share. Right here. All right, show downloads. Okay, my download Serato DJ Pro 2.4.2 is already done. Now there's another one since I'm here at the site. I also want to get Scratch Live. Now a lot of y'all say, well, why are you getting Scratch Live? Hey, I got a Rain 57. I got 2 SL2s, and let's see, 57 SL3s, 2 SL3s, and then I got a 62. So everything can use Scratch Live. And you can put Scratch Live on High Sierra. So I want to download that as well so I can have that. Okay, they're saying do it at your own risk because it's no longer supported. Software you after no longer maintained by Serato has superseded. As such, it's really important you check your system requires before download. Okay. All right. I got you. But I want it. And that's downloading. And that's downloaded. So now I have Serato DJ Pro and Serato Scratch Live. Now, this is what I'm going to do now. I want to make this as easy as possible for me to find. So now, it's only showing one here, but I'm going to my downloads, and these are my 2 downloads that I have. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy both of these into storage and music. Now, why am I doing that? So I can access it when I get to performance. And that's what you want to do. Anything that you want to install in performance, don't transfer the actual executable file over to it. Put the executable into storage or another folder. Put it somewhere where you can find it once you get over to performance. So now I got those 2 programs, Serato DJ Pro and Scratch Live here. Now I'm ready to close out and go back over to performance. And now this will be your first time seeing me boot to performance. So now when I restart, when it goes blank, I'm going to hold down the Option key. All right, now, let's see. Okay, now I'm holding down the Option key. And I'm waiting for it to boot up. See my finger? I'm holding down the Option key. And it still haven't shut down yet. Now, I think it's shut down. When you hit a chime, make sure you hold it down the Option key. Now, watch the options that I get. You see? I have main and I have performance. And then I got 2 recoveries, which actually is the same recovery. You just got one for each partition. So every time you create a new operating system partition, you're going to get a recovery for it. I don't think they make a difference. I think the first one is for main and the second one is for performance. So if I add another one, I have 3 partitions and 3 recovery partitions. So now I'm ready to go to performance. Now, remember that I set main as default. So when I restart again, it's going to boot back to main. It's not going to boot back to performance. So whenever you want to boot to performance, make sure you're holding down Option when you boot, and you can boot to that. So now, let's say for instance, I'm at my event, I'm at the club or at the wedding or at the party or the tour, the concert is about to start, and this is what I'm booting up to. I'm booting up to this partition because this is the partition that I have to perform off of. This is what I'm performing from. All right, there we go. And I need to delete this guest user off performance too. So I'm gonna make sure that I do that one. So this is the only thing I see next time. So I'm logging in. And as you can see, here's my performance. It's like a whole different laptop, brand new. Nope, I don't want to allow it. And as you can see, I only have very few icons. So now, okay, now how do I install Serato? How do I install my programs that I downloaded from another partition? This is how we do it. All right, you go into Finder. And Finder, I saved everything to a specific partition or folder. That's what you want to do. Pick a folder, make sure that folder can be accessible by both partitions. I can actually go to main. I can click on main, but it's a lot of navigating that you have to do. I can go to main. I can go to users, and I can go to the kid, and I can go to download. And see there, I can install it from here. I can also create, if I want to, if I know I'm gonna be doing a lot of downloads, I can create a shortcut and put it here. And see, this is my shortcut. Now, if I go all the way back out to the beginning, now I have this folder here. This is the download for performance. And I wish there was a way that, let's see, if there's a way, can I rename it? Nope, I can't. I was gonna say if I can rename it, but anyway, it could be it's indicated by different icons. This one has a down arrow for the main download for this particular partition or this particular operating system, which this is performance. This is just the folder that I copy, and this is from main. So you could do it this way. This way will be better because whatever you download into main, when you open up this folder, it's just going to create a shortcut to that particular folder. So this is the shortcut. So when with me having it here, it's not on performance. It's not necessarily on performance. It's just like me navigating, just like I did to get to it. But what I did, I dragged and I created a shortcut so I don't have to navigate to it. So necessarily, when I copied everything to here, I didn't really need to do it. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to delete what I copied over to. Okay, everything I copied is storage music because you may not be able to have a storage music. You may just have a main and a performance. So we're just going to go with this right now, and we're just going to download everything directly from main. So let's do. I'm not going to do Scratch Live because Scratch Live, I'm gonna have to do a little bit extra in order to install it. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'll do that later on. But now I'm installing Scratch Live. It's installing, and as you see right there, performance. Yeah, I can change the location if I want to, but I don't. This is where I want to install it. So that's where I want to go. All right, and I need to put in the password for installing in this location. Yes, I want to install it. Yep, I think I may have typed in the wrong password. Oh, nope, I forgot something. There we go. Now it's installing. Super quick. How much memory do I have on this? All right, I got 4 gigs. 4 gigs of memory. And I think I can upgrade it. And this is what my hard drive looks like. Now, of course, I created a smaller partition for performance. That's why it's more. Main has a lot more space, but there's nothing on it. There's really nothing on neither of these. I don't know. I think these photos are default. The apps are probably default too. You see, I got 23 gigs of space versus 6 gigs of space. Over time, main is going to outdo performance because right now I'm only going to install so much on performance. I'm not going to put a lot on performance. I want performance to stay at least no further than here, no more than halfway. Main, I'm install more programs to where I'm using it as my daily partition. Performance only using it whenever I need to. All right, so Serato install. I didn't even install it on the other one. That's one icon that I need, and I thought that it had to install QuickTime too. Or I think Scratch Live is going to install QuickTime. No, QuickTime is already pre-installed. So right now, that's the only program that I have installed. All right. So I don't know. I think that's about it. Performance and main, 2 different partitions. It's just like an easy install. I can add another install if I want to. I can break storage music up and create a 3rd partition and have it beta. But since I can't install any of those newer operating systems, then I don't need to worry about it. So I'm just gonna let it stay where it is. So yeah, that's it. I'm done. And if y'all got any other questions about this, or if you don't feel confident to install it and you want me to install it, I can do it. There's more to this. That's a little bit more.
Okay, I lost my other camera, but that's fine because I was done with it anyway. About to get ready to sign off at almost 3 hours, which I'm gonna have to edit this. So to wrap up, there's more that you can do, but like I said, after you finish this, go in to Serato optimizations, and you may want to jot the stuff down because you don't want to use the internet here. The more you use the internet, the more stuff you're adding on it. You're adding cache, you're adding icons, photos, stuff like that. Don't use the internet. Do not use the internet on your performance. Do not. Unless you have to. If you're doing like Tidal or SoundCloud or something like that and you need to stream your music, that's fine, but that's about it. Don't download anything to it. if you have somebody that needs a last minute song and you want to download it, and if you have to, you have to. But I would suggest not. I would suggest not getting on the internet with it. If you don't get on the internet, then there's nothing there to make it go bad. If there's something on the other partition, it's on that partition, and it won't run on this partition because this partition is like an independent drive, unless it's something that accesses the whole drive. So let's see, do your optimization in Serato. Don't install anything on that. Do not add any files that you don't need. Like I said, don't add like OBS, because like I said, OBS needs to be run on a separate computer. Don't add anything on here that doesn't have to do with your performance. If you're not using machine or any other type hardware or whatever, then don't install it. If you have Pioneer controllers or whatever, then yeah, you have to install the firmware and stuff for that. Only whatever you're using, install it. That is your superhero partition. So make sure that you keep it clean. All right. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, hit me up. I've been doing this for years, about 4 or 5 years. I done it on Macs. This right here, personally, this makes my third Mac that I did it on. I've also done it on Windows laptops and desktops. The next video you see pertaining this will be for Windows users, but Windows takes a whole lot more that you have to do. So that's going to take me a while because I'm gonna need to make sure that I have the drivers and stuff downloaded. So when I create that partition, that I can do it that way as well. So um, if you want this done, it can be done. Here are the steps. Just follow my steps. It's real simple and easy. The only thing I can say to where you don't have any issue with this is to keep it clean. Only install what you need to install. If you don't need it, take it off. If you're running Serato DJ 2.0, but I already have two more versions on there, take the oldest off. At least keep two versions, especially with Serato. Keep two versions. The current version that's running stable, and then a new version. If you run it, if you download the newest version and it's not stable yet, make sure you have a version previous to that runs um, that runs stable too. And and I'm not going to really go into that, but in order to do that, check out some of my other videos, and I explain how you could run multiple programs and be able to distinguish the difference. Or just hit me up in the comments, um, and we'll go through that. But anyway, I'm about to sign off. Uh, I wish y'all much luck. If you have any problems, hit me up in the comments, put in the comments, and I will be sure to answer it and give you a reply as soon as I can. If you feel you're not confident to do this, contact me. I do this as a service. Like I said, I've been doing it for years, Mac, Windows, laptops, desktops, or whatever. And so I can get you set up to where you're running your best and your optimal. If you're seeing this and I tag you to this, or if I copy this link, then this is what you need for your solution. If I tag you to this, or if I sent you the link, this is the solution that you need. So with enough of that said, I'm about to sign off. I will catch y'all later. Make sure you check me out every Tuesday or every Tuesday that I'm available. Atlanta DJ Zone, Tech Tuesday Live. You're here with the kid. See y'all later. Peace.